So I wanted to ask you, first of all, as somebody who is completely used to having my name mispronounced, like all the time, could you tell our readers and viewers how you pronounce your name?
It's pronounced. It's pronounced Roshani Chokshi.
Okay, Roshani Chokshi. And
Yes.
you go often by Rosh as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's a story of sisterhood. It's like being thrown into a place where you don't know the rules at all, and yet they determine everything in front of you. So it's like the first day of middle school where you have to choose where you're gonna sit in the cafeteria. And this is like your seat until the end of time. And there's demon hairdressers and pigeon sidekicks and characters from the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, which are both two ancient Sanskrit epics that meant so much to me when I was little and still mean a lot to me now.
I am in awe of anybody who can tackle Hindu mythology. You have done such an amazing job.
Thank you.
You know, not only like remembering everything and presenting it to the readers in a way that's like really fresh and relevant and funny. What was that like for you?
I've grown up with these stories my whole life. My grandmother would always tell them to me and my siblings, and they were so formative for me. I grew up in a mixed race home, so my mother is Filipino, my dad is Indian. And so the way that we bridged those cultural gaps at home was through fairy tales and stories, and like the more things that you read, the more stories, fables, etc., the more you see that they are all the same across every cultural spectrum.
So one thing I loved about Arusha, the first book, was the characters. What I loved about it was the girl power. I mean, it's so awesome. So where did that come from, and how did you form those characters?
Honestly, the girl power thing came from two big important things in my life, and the first one was Sailor Moon. Their friendship was the heart of everything.
Yeah.
It overcame all the obstacles. It was more important than their love interest, and I loved that. And I like, you know, forget the boy. You, my best friend, are everything. And I was really lucky to have those kind of friendships growing up. I grew up next door to my best friend since the middle of kindergarten, and she and all my other friends were always getting me out of trouble. They were also the ones to put me in trouble in the first place. But our antics and shenanigans that we had together were really what inspired Aru and her sister's adventures. I wanted readers to feel like they got to have this adventure too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is the first time that I really almost put myself into a book. I was always kind of scared before. So, you know, Minnie has like my Filipino Indian heritage. She has the whole spiel of, am I one thing more than another? Am I allowed to be both? And Aru is just like me in the sense that we were both liars in middle school and just like, you know, slightly horrible people, but had the best adventures. And sometimes a lie or a story would get out of control and we'd have to like bring it back up or hide, grow a beard, move to Florida. The usual things that one does.
Just like middle school, yeah. I love it. Well, that kind of leads into the next thing I wanted to ask, which was this incredible sense of humor that you bring into the books. You mentioned the demon hairdresser and the talking pigeon who becomes the sidekick. There's all these great humorous touches, and some of it I recognize from Indian mythology, but some seems like it's all you.
When my family moved for the first time from St. Louis to Atlanta, I was in kindergarten and I was just sobbing nonstop. I missed it. I missed my friends, even though I don't even remember their names now, but what I missed most of all was my house. And I remember asking my parents, like, do you think the house misses us?
Aww.
Yeah, like the house wakes up one day and everyone's gone and they're like, did I do something wrong? And I just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. So that was an episode that really inspired the talking palace that appears in Roshani End of Time.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
And that was such a sweet scene, but so sad too.
It was sad. I want to tell my house that
It's
I still
okay.
think of it.
Well, thanks for talking with me today. It's been really fun. I cannot wait for readers to get their hands on the book. It's going to be so great.